Am I getting let into the city? I guess I am. Here we go. This guy's beautifully playing violin. Still used. Don't want to get hit. Porto Nuovo. Newport. Bellissimo. I love violin. Get to see these things of vanquished armies. You know, they were really in tune with the classics, starting in the Renaissance. So they built this in the style of the Romans, Greeks kind of too. So once you enter the city, see, it's still used. Cars driving through. That's what you see. And the palace is kind of behind me here, over there, I believe. We're gonna learn more about this. Oh, Italy and your amazing architecture and history. What can I say? Sicily now included. Little tucked away shop. There's a lightning storm. I want to try some Sicilian wine. First one. Ooh, you smell that? That's different. Ooh. These are like some dark purple grapes, something like that. Ooh, Siciliano. Ancient wine culture, just like everywhere. Just getting a view of where we are here in the alley. Buongiorno, buongiorno. Crazy rain, first rain we've seen in a while. This place is 100BC-700. The name crossed out. Yeah. Ooh, man, this is the first time in a long time that I've done anything other than home workouts with no equipment or anything like that. You got this little outdoor workout zone by the Mediterranean right here. This old ass part of Palermo. This is like where the city started like 3,000 years ago, something crazy. Little basketball court, crazy mountains with the sun going down. Ooh, and I'm tired. I haven't lifted weights in so long. Got out of shape. But it feels good to get into it. You know, you gotta take it slow. Doing like 3 pull-ups at a time, something like that. 10 push-ups at a time, doing some reps. 10 dips. Well, last time I made it to 7. This is cool though. It's like a little park outside. They test everybody before going in. And families are here. And people are using it, young people, diversity of people. Ciao! The children's section. Babies. Wow. Rest in peace. These could be some of your ancestors, monks. From Palermo. Ooh, it's freaking me out. Good morning, Venus, planet Mars, island of Sicily. A lot of construction was done, and Kingdom of Sicily was its own thing. And I love this. You're just walking around, and you see something that's like 900 years old, still here, older, thousands of years old. You know, walking around before, like in Napoli. What's up, man? Napoli, man. You're walking around, you see things like 1,000 years old, man. It's crazy. Napoli, there was like this aqueduct that was like over 2,000 years old. There's some areas that things are even older. They're just standing the test of time, just hanging out. This was like the wall of the city. Now we're inside the city. That was the outside. The porta, it's like a portal, going through the portal of time traveling. I'm in the 1100s again. I'm in 2020 again. Am I crazy to think about this stuff? This is something I learned. So this portion of this wall, I guess a little bit of this building, I don't know if anybody here knows it, but it has the 2 fingers bricks, which is an indication of, indication of, see, I told you there's UPS here. God, I always go off track. Indication of a Roman building. Oh wow, you can see actually on the top, you can see the, you know what, I think this whole thing is an original Roman building. That's insane, just built into like an apartment or something. Wow, awesome. In this neighborhood, we're just cruising around. A little interesting. Saw a wedding down there. Yeah. Okay, this is what remains of the Roman city, Palermo. Let's keep it going with the story. So there was a second slave uprising, servile war in Sicily in the both in the 100s BC. We talked about the first one, 134 to 132. The second one, 104 to 101 BC, was also crushed in slave army, was handled by the legions. That's kind of cool, the Catholic flag back there in the cathedral. So this compounded with the Spartacus revolt in Campania, which was another slave revolt, ended up with a bunch of laws enacted to help the slaves of the Roman Empire not be so disgruntled, which, you know, being a slave sucks, I get it. You couldn't beat your slaves and stuff like that. So those 2 wars in Sicily and the slave revolt in Italy with Spartacus changed the way slaves are dealt with. All right, so 73 to 71 BC, the Roman governor of Sicily was famously charged with the corruption by Cicero. In 70 to 67 BC, a war against the pirates, which the waters around Sicily before the time we're talking about and after were plagued with piracy. So the Romans wanted to end this for all of the Mediterranean. We're not talking about Pirates of the Caribbean like Hollywood. It was just bands of roaming bandits that would capture people and ships and murder people and do a bunch of horrible stuff. So this was long before the Pirates of the Caribbean, but same kind of thing. A bunch of unruly bandits and murderers disrupting commerce that would pull up on, also they would pull up on towns and plunder them and steal people and booty. Not like booty, but booty was like, well, you know, valuable things. Food also they would steal. So the seas were patrolled by Roman ships all around the island of Sicily. The beautiful oceans around here plagued with piracy, and they massacred any pirates that were found. So it was automatic death sentence if you were found out to be a pirate, which ended up working. It became the Mediterranean, the Roman lake, as they called it. The Mediterranean Sea was the Roman lake. You have a question?
How did they know if somebody was a pirate? Was it like a witch hunt? Did some people get killed that they were not pirates, but they thought that they were?
Probably, you're right. I don't know. They must have had to have been caught being a pirate. Maybe there was some kind of logo like the skull and crossbones flag that indicated that they were pirates. But you're right. Maybe a lot of people snitched them out of being pirates just because they didn't like them, but they weren't really a pirate, and who knows? It wasn't written down. All right. So now we're getting into the time of Julius Caesar, which impacted little Panormus here. 42 to 40 BC was the Caesar Civil Wars. Armies loyal to Julius Caesar invaded the island and city here of Sicily. And there were some naval battles outside of Palermo on the waters. Panormus it was called. This is pretty much all that's left of the Roman town. But after Caesar's death, his famous death in Rome by assassination, Sicily ended up being controlled by someone named Sextus Pompey, son of Pompey the Great, in defiance of Mark Antony and Octavian. Caesar, who would later become Augustus, and Lepidus, which were the triumvirate leaders in Rome. The Senate formalized a sharing of power, which gave Pompey control of the islands, but this, of course, led to more battle. So Pompey's father, I forgot to mention, Pompey's father, Pompey the Great, was the general who won the servile wars in Sicily and crushed the slave army. So him and his family got great esteem. Also, him and his armies crushed the pirates too. So Pompey the great general. So his family was kind of, you can see some mosaics right there. Roman mosaics, over 2,000 years old. Cool. All right, so this is a lot of violence. You know, the Romans, they like to write down their wars and accomplishments and crazy stuff that happened. But a lot of that was happening here in this city wasn't written down. It was actually a pretty peaceful place after all these problems were hashed out. But all right, back to the Caesar wars. Pompey, who was mad at Octavian Caesar and his other people, were blocking the grain shipments going into mainland Italy. So that was bad because the grain farms here in Sicily gave a lot of food to a lot of the Roman Republic. So there were many naval battles off the shores and some on land, mostly in the eastern part of Sicily though, so not here. Octavian's armies and navies were defeated even a few times by the genius Lieutenant Agrippa. Lieutenant Agrippa was on Octavian's side. So he was a genius military lieutenant that helped Octavian achieve great victory. Octavian Agrippa destroyed Pompey's fleet in 36 BC, then leading to the 31 BC Battle of Actium. Over Mark Antony and Cleopatra's forces. You know Cleopatra? Heard about that story? How about Mark Antony?
Just a singer.
He's named after this guy. They both committed suicide. Cleopatra in Egypt by snake bite. Mark Antony, I forget where. But the last battle, that was way off in Greece. It was a naval battle. So it ended these wars. And it led to the 27 BC Octavian Caesar being declared by the Senate after all this turmoil for years and years and years in the Roman Republic to be named Augustus Caesar, the first emperor of Rome. But he had already taken control of the island completely. Taken control of the island slightly before the start of the empire in 36 BC. So this was a Roman Empire town where it would remain. Sicily was one of the main grain producers of the Roman Republic and its empire, feeding its legions and the people of the expanding territory. But Palermo wasn't built up like other places on a grand scale, from what I read. It was an agrarian, peaceful town where languages like Latin, Greek, Hebrew, and Punic could be heard on the streets. It was an important Roman city, though, for Sicily. It had a golden era from around 200 BC to 100 AD as a port city. So we're probably about, 30-minute walk from the port down there, where we were earlier. Near a plaza and a park remain some mosaics. A theater and villa were once here, and other ruins have been found. So this is the area where the theater, the mosaics were. But surprisingly, like I said, not a lot of the Roman city has been unearthed. It's been buried under the centuries, and little was written about Sicily. And written about Sicily in the Roman era because
little was wrote about Sicily.
It was a peaceful place in the empire. It was just a peaceful, chill, farming kind of community. So I've seen different marble carvings and pieces of old Roman buildings ingrained into the new facade of the city here, which is interesting. They were all later, it looks like some of these buildings were converted into modern apartments, which is kind of crazy. Anyways, Panormus is here. It's underneath it all. After about 79 AD, though, the city became less inhabited and wasn't important until the late and fall of the Western Empire. Next, we're going to get into Christianity coming to Sicily. All right, so let's finish it up this time. The city was lost to Rome to Germanic tribes, and the Byzantines retook it, but kind of were a little shaken. They couldn't really control it that well. But it was a fascinating time with Panormus. Not a lot is known. They were very Christian beliefs, Catholic. But there was also Hebrews living here. But the next religion to come onto the scene is the third Abrahamic religion, Islam, which right now this spot was a Phoenician building, then a Roman building, but then the Grand Mosque of Palermo before this cathedral was built on that same exact spot. This spot is super historic, man. 3,000 years. It's crazy. All right, so the Byzantine times, the population was a mix of Latins, Greeks, Jews, Byzantines, Phoenicians, and Germanic peoples. When different sects of Christianity, like there was one sect of Christianity from North Africa that like believed the human Jesus and the divine were two separate things, and it was a huge controversy. Forget what it was exactly called. All this anger about religion, man, through history is very strange. But I get it. So yeah, paganism slowly vanished into the Dark Ages, leading to the next part of Palermo history. Islam makes its appearance. Look at this beautiful building. Something's happening here. I'm gonna catch a bike race, I think. Dope!
Eh?
Oh, here's a biker. He's doing good. Yeah! I think that was the second place guy. Those guys are smoking everybody else. Crazy.
So you have to ride in between a car?
I guess when you're one of the leaders, maybe a car follows you. Just
Very
film,
dangerous.
probably film it for TV.
No, what's this person doing then? He's filming for TV too.
What's happening? Before speed bike racing. Woo! Yeah! Woo! Ah, I get it. I think I get what's happening. So they're not actually racing each other, but they're tying. So they're all separate, and that's their team. Yay!